This is your new classroom. James said, "Wake up, Dad." "I am asleep," said Dad.
Let's close that there. Now you've got your book, One Cold Wet Night. Do you remember it had that?
At first, you're very nervous. You know that you're being observed. And then after a while, you just get into the lesson and you forget about being watched because, of course, you can't see them and the child can't see them.
Tiger, come back, said the clock. Mum.
Let's talk about teachers' behaviour.
She's not interrupting while he's reading, right? So it gets the whole structure.
There's a physical space between them as well.
I'm going to be
Reading recovery teachers train on the job, but every fortnight they meet for these sessions, taking turns to bring in one of the children they're working with at school. Getting the child to solve problems themselves is key.
Do you think he expects to be able to sort things out?
Yes.
What tells you that?
That he's not looking at Amy.
No. He's not afraid to have a go at sort of saying words that he thinks it might be.
He's completely absorbed in what he's doing, isn't he? Very focused.
He's working very hard.
Andrew did some good work here. Can you find the difficult bit? That's right, and you were looking carefully. You knew it didn't sound right, did you? Is it I or I'll? That's right. And you said, "I'll stay on the couch tonight." Does that look right? Stay? How about sleep?
on the couch tonight.
Good.
So what happened there?
I think she jumped in too quickly.
And a little monkey.
I think he would have sorted it out, it sounds like. Yeah.
Well, he'd actually self-monitored, hadn't he? Because he noticed. He
noticed that he had gotten it wrong.
Quickly with 2 hands.
We've talked about the advantage of letting the child do something independently, but Amy was giving some very explicit support there. What's the advantage of that? What does the child then know?
Knows what to do to be successful.
To be independent.
Anybody else?
And to make sense of what he's reading.
There are lesson components, and initially the teachers learn to implement those, but it's rather mechanistic at first, and so the opportunity to talk at the screen allows teachers to deepen their understanding and understand the rationale for why they do things.
Oh, Tiger, you are a clever cat. Mum.
He's saying words aloud to see if they fit, to see if they make sense. And if they don't, he tries another word. Then he looks at the visual cue.
He sounds out.
Yeah. He repeats one word 4 times, obviously trying to figure out the second word, what the second word could be.
We do like teachers to have had at least 3 years' experience in Key Stage 1 and that they have that background of classroom literacy to work with these hardest to teach children. What sort of opportunities will Matthew have to self-monitor? Amy's obviously focusing on word endings here. What sort of monitoring is Matthew going to have to do during the letter sort and if he's taking words apart? Okay, he's made the word looked. How can he check on himself? What's he going to have to do?
He's going to have to look at the beginning of the word and then at the end and put the 2 together.
That's right. Looking.
Okay, so you want to add anything to that?
The end of the word changes, doesn't it?
Okay, so we're talking about that tracking left to right.
And can you find it looks with 2 fingers? Good. And can you find the word looked with 2 fingers on this
So what's
page?
happening here?
Looked.
Just linking it back to the
You're forcing it. Forcing.
And why is that crucial?
Good boy. Excellent.
So that you can see in the actual structure of the sentence as well as individual letter.
And then what makes the ing sound?
Okay, so what's he learning here?
An ending.
To put word endings into his writing.
Remember when we were looking at looking, what makes the ing sound?
Can you tell us what happened?
She just pointed, and he knew that that was his cue to read it, reread it.
Get back on track.
Have you noticed in your teaching how obviously children need to know what that prompt means, but it is very powerful, isn't it? Because you're not cluttering them with a lot of noise. It's very quick and very direct. This is where the cow's got in.
And he's sounding out the W, what you can see his lips.
Okay, if we're going
It's not it's one of those words you have to know, really.
You bring it to fluency, don't you, pretty early on?
Yeah, it's one of those you need to give them.
He's doing really well for a new book.
Very
Can you be a bit more explicit about that? What do you mean by doing well?
He's reading at a very good pace.
So you're thinking maybe actually he's processing quite quickly, is that what you're saying?
Yes,
more quickly than you think.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We're not about judging whether a lesson was good, bad or indifferent. We're looking at teacher behaviour and child behaviour with the aim of supporting a particular child to move on and supporting a particular teacher to be more effective in the support they give to that child. Amy, is there anything you'd like to just comment about first of all?
I was pleased with his self-monitoring. He was doing a lot of self-monitoring, and on quite a few occasions was managing to correct it as well. So he would stop and attempt it.
We noticed that he was monitoring himself by using the picture clues as well from the story, which really helped him.
And it was clear that he thought he was expected to sort things out for himself.
The second child to be observed is Ray Kwan.
He's been in the programme for 14 weeks. He only knew 10 sounds when he first came into the programme, and he could only read the words mum and me. The strategies that he's using at the moment is that he notices when something is wrong, but he can't always solve the problems, he can't always self-correct. Off you go.
Kate is up. Nick is up. James is up. Look, Mum. Look. It A and T. At Dad.
He said, look, it, Dad, and then you realise that that can't be it. Why can't it be it? Is there I there? No. What is here? What sound is that? A. At. Look at. And that looks right, doesn't it? And it makes sense. Look at Dad. Does that make sense?
No. Yeah.
Does look it, Dad, make sense?
No.
No. So you did that all by yourself. Good boy.
It's very much about being responsive to the child. The success of the program is completely dependent on the teaching decisions that are made moment by moment.
Here is my hedgehog on her babies. Here they are. There they are. Do hedgehogs sting me? Do they?
What do you think?
And the last time I saw the hedgehog...
They can prick you, can't they? Let's see what happens next.
I saw the hedgehog and I touched it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my auntie flicked it away.
Really?
And it didn't hurt her.
Okay, I want to see what happens on this page.
Hair.
Sometimes if children become disengaged or their attention wanes, we need to think very carefully about what the reasons are and how we can draw them back.
Here?
Here is Mother Rabbit. Here are her baby. Here they are.
Here, you went, here. You said here. And then you looked at it and you changed it and then you said where. Because what does where begin with?
Where.
Where, good. But without the where it says here, doesn't it? And with the where it says where. Good boy.
Oh, so that's good that he's not worried about making a mistake, but he will attempt.
Yeah. That was the main thing that I was trying to get over, because when he first started, he would cry and get upset
if he was to get something wrong. So that was one of our big hurdles, to at least tempt it and not to be worried if you make a mistake.
Sit properly for me.
I'm happy.
Quickly, I'm happy too. Sit properly. Good boy. That's it. Put your feet down. There you go.
Here come a bird.
I think he's more confident with his writing than his reading. Yeah.
And I really like the way you kept him on track, because he's a very fidgety child, and you had him there all the time, so it was great.
And remember, at the beginning of the sentence, what do we use?
A full stop.
A capital letter. Do you remember we looked at the T, didn't we?
A capital letter.
Like one. Which one of these is a capital T? That we use at the beginning of a sentence. Which one's the capital one? Good, so use that one. So use a capital at the beginning of sentences.
Can I do it?
I'll do it.
I want to do it for me.
No, I can do it. Quick, off you go.
Yeah, I was
And then you
pleased
made
with
him go back and do the capital T at the beginning of the story. When it came to the second sentence, he did a lowercase t, and then he went back and said, look, you know, it's supposed to be capital T.
I know how to spell cat.
Good boy, write it there. Well done.
Why did you do it? Because I know how to spell cat.
Well done. Write it.
Cat
Okay, have a look at...
is on a bed. Oh,
Good boy. Read me your sentence.
the cat is on a bed.
Good boy.
The training's complex, but so is the task. The children need to catch up with their classmates, but also learn to cope when this intensive support ends.
What can I attend to that's going to have the biggest payoff in terms of moving the child forward, and also giving them strategies to apply in other situations, not just learning a body of knowledge, but learning strategies to build up what we call a self-extending system that develops all the time, every time children read and write.
The cat is on a...
Does that make sense?
Nah.
So what should we do?
The cat is on the bed. A bird. A bird is on the tree. It makes sense now.
Good boy, it does.
1, 2, 3,
Well
4,
done.
5, 6,
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 of them.
Well done.